So Friday was supposed to be the day that the Epstein files in their entirety were to be released, with the only redactions being the names of the victims. Instead, the Trump administration only released a small percentage of the files, and those that were released were, in fact, heavily redacted. In what appears to be a slip in the cover-up, 15 files, including the infamous photo of Trump with a group of young girls, were released and then deleted by the Department of Justice shortly thereafter, causing a firestorm. In an effort to put out the flames, Pam Bondi's top deputy at the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, who was formerly Trump's defense attorney, went on Meet the Press this morning to tout the transparency of the administration regarding the Epstein files. Instead, he put the Trump administration in a very awkward position. Roll this clip.
So we are in every way, shape, and form complying with this statute, which, by the way, is what President Trump has been asking us to do since before he was elected. There is nothing that he has to hide in the Epstein files. There never was. And even though there's repeated attempts by Democrats to paint him as being part of the Epstein saga, it's failing over and over again. And so you should not be surprised that the material that we released on Friday, or the material that we're going to release over the next couple of weeks, is exactly what the statute requires us to release, which is everything that we have from this case, with the exception of redacting personal information from victims and other statutes, privileges and things like that. Otherwise, everything's getting produced.
Mr. Blanche, I want to follow up with you on what you just said. You were referencing the 15 files released Friday. They disappeared from DOJ's website yesterday, including this photo of what looks like a desk with a drawer open containing photos of Donald Trump. Just to be very clear, to put a fine point on it, why were these files taken down? You're saying it was at the direction of a judge?
Well, you can see in that photo, there's photographs of women. And so we learned after releasing that photograph that there were concerns about those women and the fact that we had put that photo up. So we pulled that photo down. It has nothing to do with President Trump. There are dozens of photos of President Trump already released to the public, seeing him with Mr. Epstein. He has said that in the 90s and early 2000s, he socialized with him. So the absurdity of us pulling down a photo, a single photo, because President Trump was in it, is laughable. And the fact that everybody's trying to act like that's the case is a reflection of their true motivation. But the reality is anybody, any victim, any victim's lawyers, any victim rights group can reach out to us and say, hey, Department of Justice, there's a document, there's a photo, there's something within the Epstein files that identifies me, and we will then, of course, pull that off and investigate it.
Are you saying that one or more of the women in one of the photos or several of the photos is a victim or a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein, and that's why you took those files down? And will they be put back up?
No, that's not what I'm saying. We, of course, if we knew that, if we believed that photograph contained a survivor, we wouldn't have put it up in the first place without redacting the faces. But notwithstanding what we believe, we don't have perfect information. And so when we hear from victims' rights groups about this type of photograph, we pull it down and investigate. We're still investigating that photo. The photo will go back up, and the only question is whether there will be redactions on the photo. And of course, if there are survivors in any of the photos, we will redact them as Congress expects us to do, as President Trump expects us to do, and as the Attorney General and Director Patel have directed the department to do.
First off, did anyone else see the fear creep across the face of Todd Blanche when he realized he'd been trapped? He immediately knew that he was in trouble, and this is why. According to the Epstein bill passed by Congress and signed into law by Trump, redactions could only be made to protect victims. So if indeed these women in the photo are not victims of Epstein, then the Trump administration has violated the law by deleting them. But if, as Blanche first noted, the administration removed the photos to protect the identity of Epstein victims, then we have our first visual proof that Trump did in fact fraternize with both Epstein and the girls he preyed on. Will MAGA supporters finally jump off the wagon now that it is clear that, at minimum, a cover-up is taking place right in front of our eyes? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. This is 5 for Politics, and we'll see you next time.